Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a special video. Today it's Dev versus Dev, or Valheim versus CoreKeeper. I'm joined by a couple of the developers of Valheim. We're going to be running through the Mistlands with a couple of the developers from CoreKeeper, and then in a little while we're going to switch it round and we're all going to go and jump in on CoreKeeper. Obviously, by now, you should know what Valheim is on this channel. You may not have seen CoreKeeper on this channel, though. I've covered it on my second channel, and it's an amazing, super addictive survival crafting exploration game. 1 to 8 players. It's available on Steam right now. It's been there nearly a year in early access, and it's got to be my favourite new game this year. Absolutely. Like, I'd be putting it up there in the top 10 of survival games right now. Loads of updates, loads of bosses to fight, loads of different loot to pick up and enemies to destroy, base building as you explore, and a lot more. And then we just got Valheim. Good old Valheim. We're joined by Jonathan and Grimcore from the Valheim crew. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello. Now, you've done this a few times, so you're old hands. You know what the score is.
Kinda, yeah.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'll see if I can throw some curveballs your way. And then we are joined today by Max and Julian. And respectively, one you guys is the creative, the programmer for CoreKeeper, one of them?
Yeah, I'm Max.
Yeah.
I'm the lead programmer for CoreKeeper.
Cool. Max. And Julian, you are the lead artist, I do believe, concept artist and environments?
Yeah, pretty much the girl for everything regarding art, and the art director at Puckstorm as well.
Well, perfectly matched. I feel like Sean, thank you for helping set this up from Fireshine. He basically must have chose your exact opposites, because we pretty much got that here with Jonathan being one of the programmers at Valheim. And we've got Grim, obviously he's the coffee guy. We couldn't get anyone of importance, only the coffee guy.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm joking. Grim is, of course, the art generalist guy who's done lots of concept art and come up with designs of creatures and enemies and stuff, as well as obviously some of the other crew at Valheim. So how's everyone doing? It's been a pretty good year for everyone, really. Like Valheim Mistlands update has just come out, obviously, or is out at the moment, and then CoreKeeper, you're on your second major big update or third major update, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Been going great.
Good.
Quite overwhelming success. We didn't expect that. We expected something, but we didn't expect that.
Yes.
What did you expect, by the way? What was your when you went out?
Slightly less overwhelming success.
Yeah, we at least expected break even, but not like break even day one.
I think they've sold over 1 million copies. That's right.
Yeah. We're
Okay,
above 1 million.
Yeah.
That's insane. How does that feel?
Feels great.
Yeah, it's unreal. Basically, I have nothing in my life that compares to what even a 1 million is. Like you never see like 1 million people in front of you, so I have no idea how much that even is. So yeah, no scope of reference after all, but yeah, it sounds much.
It is a lot. And congratulations to 1 million. I don't know when it happened, but it's a huge deal. Especially when you're not that big in the industry, you can start making some ripples on the water.
I think it happened 2 weeks in, didn't it?
No, I think the 1 million was during the summer. Like we had 500,000, I think.
Yeah.
And then it was until July, I think. Then we had the.
Yeah.
Like I'm guessing a bit, but sometime during the summer.
Yeah, but it's still pretty insane for like any indie game to reach those numbers so quickly. So that's congratulations on that.
Yeah, when I was like first time I played Valheim, it was during this just huge peak you had. It was like just ticking up.
Oh yes,
super crazy one.
That was crazy. That was so crazy. I remember the first week, and they were saying like, let's try to hit 500. Let's hope for 500,000. We're going to push for that for Monday. Basically, they said on the Thursday, and hope that we sell on the weekend, and then we come back on Tuesday, and we had sold 1 million, and after that it was like 1 million a week, and it was like on the 6th week or something like that. We had to stop saying on Twitter because at some point you're just bragging. You can't go out and say, "Oh, another million here. I'll put that. Put another million over there in the corner, please." No, it was good. It's still good.
Yeah, huge congrats on that.
CoreKeeper as well. Like I would say, this is your second game you guys have worked on, isn't it? Like you had a game a few years ago, I do believe.
Yeah.
And so this is you've been around since 2016. It's not like it's an overnight success. Like you've put the graft in and you built it up over time. And so it must be even more rewarding as well, like because maybe the first game I don't know how well it did or whatever, but I can't say I'd heard too much about it. And then the second one, every sort of crafty sort of streamer that I knew was playing it, fans of Terraria and Minecraft, and there was a big crossover also with some Valheim creators too that were checking it out. So yeah, it must have been great to see them numbers pop off and you can carry on. So you're both pretty small studios. You both got about the same amount of staff, and you obviously both got that Swedish connection. What's it like making games in Sweden?
It's great.
Yeah, it's good.
No, but like it's going upward pretty fast, I would say. Like if you're comparing a few years ago.
Yeah,
I think we do have a good culture for game developers overall in Sweden, because we have a lot of places where we do study to become game developers. I didn't study at all, but I wanted to study to become a game developer or art. But I think we try to nourish that and try to really develop it more and more. I don't know how it is. How is it like in Germany?
I have really no idea. I know there are startups, especially in Berlin where I live, about game development, but it's not really something you can go crazy about. It's usually Sweden that you hear about. Like every time I hear something cool, like a game or an invention or something, it's always from Sweden. So
really, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were that big. I mean, I know we have there's quite a few studios here, but like compared to our population, but like compared to many other countries, there's still a lot more in the US, for example.
But I still think it's like really big that we have that you can study at several places, and all of these different places where you can study to become a game developer. They're trying to, like the incubator where Richard and I and Henrik were at. There's lots of game incubators around Sweden as well, and just people who study and want to get into game development. Like we get a couple of portfolios sent to us. Many portfolios sent to us, and a lot of them are students who want to get in, and they're eager, and there's a lot of passion there. And those who don't get into game development straight on, like bigger studios and so on, they tend to make their own studios, and then they get to try and fail in success and all that as well. So I think I think all of that is important, that there is a lot of people trying to do the same thing.
I mean, I think especially like the University of Skövde, it seems like they really try to encourage people to start their own company. Like you have the game projects and like take that project, try to make something out of it. And I mean, that ends up in quite a few companies that try to get started, and some of them fail and some of them succeed and some of them go work for bigger companies as well. But it's really kind of like a healthy student culture where companies are kind of born. I mean, it really encourages new companies and more people to work in the gaming industry, which I mean creates more jobs and everything as well. So I think it's quite good.
I feel like Linköping, like where we are based, is doing the same journey, but are like a few years behind. Since I feel like Skövde like was a bit earlier and actually just really pushing for the game development stuff.
One nice thing about Skövde, I mean, I'm not from there, but coming into there I worked in Stockholm before, and a nice thing of coming into Skövde is you can really see that, like, okay, there's quite a number of small studios there, some tiny, some medium, and a few a little bit bigger ones, but there's still like this really community of game developers where you can really like get to know people from other companies. You have a party, you invite like every other, like not everyone, but like it's really open between companies, and you go visit them here and there, and you meet them in restaurants, and it's just like a small game dev town somehow. It's like a little mini mecca.
But also, it kind of breeds some kind of incest as well.
Well, you had to take it there.
I have to.
You had to take it.
I
there,
have
didn't
to. No, but it becomes like this. I remember the first time because being on the outside, trying to get into the industry is pretty difficult if you don't have something amazing. If you want to go for bigger studios and so on. And I remember the first time I sat down, went for lunch, and there was this guy who didn't have a job, but he knew some people, and he was just eating lunch with some friends, and they were like, "Yeah, come work with us." Okay. And I was like, "Oh my God, I worked my ass off, and you just had to have lunch."
Well, that's the way of the world. Guys, let's get in the boat and we can chat more.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
I would say the resurgence to me, and I know it's overused, but it is true. Like the Minecraft inception, this idea that Swedish game developers are all like just geniuses, and then straight through this one, people, straight through this one. I think that's big and prevalent a lot. And then after that, we've had some great game companies come out, like or games Satisfactory, of course, as well. Your publishers, Iron Gate with Coffee Stain, like they've been flying the flag pretty well and solid for the last few years as well. And yeah, it does seem like in Sweden, though, I'm always surprised that a lot of you aren't based in like the capital city. Like a lot of you are kind of based more regional. I always imagine it's got to be like the hub is always like the capital.
Yeah, I think it is for AAA stuff, right?
Yeah, kind of is. But I know that if Iron Gate was in Stockholm, I wouldn't have applied at all.
No,
That's one thing for sure.
Like working from home and stuff. Like we said, we've covered this many times, me and the Valheim devs. But like, in a way, the pandemic, as horrible as it was, it has opened up opportunities for people to get that work-life balance right, and to maybe work at jobs that they didn't think they'd be able to. Do you guys have that same sort of thing? I guess you had your studio beforehand. What did you have to? Was you in just a regular studio, or have you always been remote?
Yeah, we've always been remote. It was actually Corona was not that much of a change for us. It was like, okay, what is happening out there? We just keep working like we usually do because literally nothing changed for us. So it was kind of good that we already were set up like this before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. But I did also a lot to just the video game economy as well, right? There were so many people that just started playing games because they didn't know what to do with themselves, just staying at home all the time.
Yeah.
So there was a huge surge of new players everywhere.
And you guys, you worked with Fireshine long, or was that just before CoreKeeper come along, or have you always worked with them?
We worked with them for the previous game as well. So I guess for as long as we've been making games.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So it's not that long, but like we haven't been doing this for that long either.
Is it nice having like that sort of publisher? So like Iron Gate, you guys are pretty. I would say, from what I can tell, mostly hands off from Coffee Stain. They don't get involved super too much. Do you feel like your creative juices are still there, and you don't have to go and get them all double checked? Like you got autonomy.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's kind of, for me, it's almost the point of a publisher to not have to care about some stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Or being able to focus on the game development.
Coming up to the Mistlands. What a beautiful sight that is.
Yeah, that looks pretty epic.
As always, in awe.
Adventure awaits.
It does.
Oh yeah.
So you guys one of you guys has got 100 hours in Valheim, but only recently someone else has only picked it up. What has that experience been like, trying Valheim for the first time recently?
I think I finally understood what it's all about.
Yeah.
What the whole craze is about. Like the building kind of was a revelation for me. It was really cool just building stuff since it's all kind of grid based, but at the same time it's not. So you really have like freedom to do whatever you want. So whenever we play together as a team in our game sessions, which we do weekly, I was just building stuff. I wasn't really going out hunting. It was like, and then everyone was about like, oh, we're gonna hunt bosses down. I was like, no, I want to build more. I was just tagging along, going through the motions so I can get back home to build more stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's very chill game.
I think that is one of the different theories of why it works is that different types of players can play the game together, and one stays at home and builds, one goes for the adventure, one goes and makes food, or one builds. So there's a lot of different ways to play it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of Valheim's biggest draws or strengths. The building community is massive in Valheim. It's kind of, in a way, in between updates, it has kind of kept a lot of the Valheim fans sated. Like, you know, there's always more cities and towns and fantastic builds that someone's going to come up with, like a creator or players, to share and stuff. I'm always interested in CoreKeeper though, because CoreKeeper, it looks like a 2D sort of game, and I guess we'll talk more about it when we play it in a while. But it's a 3D game. It's just the way that you layer it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's basically round and the walls are a mesh, and that was decided this way so that the lighting we have in the game looks as good as it does, and then that is populated with 2D sprites and stuff. So if someone is modding the game to make it a third-person shooter or something,
Really?
they probably could do that.
First ticks people, so that means there must be one of the new Jarl
location.
Yeah.
I have a tick on me.
There we go.
If you got ticks on you, hold right. Yeah, just dodge roll.
Doesn't work. I tried it last night. Doesn't work. Your game's broken. It's rubbish, Grim.
It's not 100%, but it'll be fixed in the next patch, I think.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah, oh, no, not Max again. Get away from Max.
We need to give them wisp lights as well.
If you equip your wisp lights, hopefully you brought them with you. So, yeah, again, once we talk about it, CoreKeeper's got a fantastic range of accessories, which you'll really like. Like, there's just a ton of them. You could, there's rings, there's necklaces, there's stuff like that. We give you all sorts of crazy buffs. I would say also put on your feather cape. I mean, you can get by without it if you've got one, Julio. Just to
I think I have.
see.
I think I left it in the base.
Right, take mine, sir. Take mine. You can have mine. Here you go. Take that.
But yeah, like I gotta say, there are like I'm mostly working on other stuff rather than just putting small items into the game.
Yeah.
So often when I play like this, I'm surprised. Like, okay, they added this and they added this. Like, it's kind of funny that me as a developer also is surprised by just like there's kind of often things that I see in the game that I had no idea they actually put in there.
They just added it. Maybe not the same for you guys though at Iron Gate, because you're all pretty like maybe still, I guess, like Grim, you've come up with a lot of stuff. Jonathan, you've come up with a lot of stuff. Does that happen? Is there anything in the game that you're like, how did that get in there?
I mean, for me at least, I guess all of us kind of see everything that goes in, but I kind of actively choose to the things that I don't need to touch. I kind of actively ignore them because then I get pleasantly surprised when I can try them out later in game instead.
Yeah. Oh, this is a big boy. We've lucked out here. This is one of the hardest creatures in the Mistlands. Hey, well done. Hey, teamwork. Dates have come and the update is now here. We spoke a little bit about it, and Jonathan, like especially Jonathan as well. Like, how do you feel about the Mistlands now, sort of arriving and players got their hands on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with it. It's been amazing responses actually. We've been kind of worried about like, okay, will people think it's enough? Are people happy? Is it going to be too hard, too easy? And like in general, I think it's gone really well. Like, there's always, of course, some feedback to go through, and there's a few bugs, but nothing major. And I don't know, it's just been very positive, and it's really nice to finally have it released, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that people can stop
saying when Mistlands.
About it.
When Mistlands.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, we've also been working on it for quite a while, and it's nice to just like be able to do something else, work on something else.
Yeah.
Again, even though of course we have to work on it a bit more and fix some stuff, but.
Oh, there's some skill.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. They will always haunt you.
I tried shooting it with the arbalest, but that didn't work.
What, have you focused like 100% on Mistlands, or has it been like small stuff in other places as well? Or?
It's since, what is it, like, I think March, all of us were on Mistlands 100%, pretty much, except, yeah. But before that, we did like, I mean, we had the Hearth and Home with an upgrade before, and we also did like
caves.
The caves patch, like the mountain caves, where we added a dungeon to the mountains biome. So, which was like, and we also had one where we released like a new monster and the abomination in swamps and some new armor and stuff. So we were a little bit spread out. Like some of those updates got a little bit bigger than they were maybe supposed to. They took a bit more time. which is, I guess, why people are a bit not so happy that it took us like a year and a half to release Mistlands from early access release, like the first biome, you could say. But since we've had some other content patches, I mean, yeah, that's, I guess, the reason why. But yeah, maybe we should have worked on Mistlands earlier. I don't know.
I mean, some things are like Hearth and Home, for example, is one of those things that like people didn't understand back then, and I was saying that back then on interviews, like why are you rebalancing all the food and everything? Well, because back then I couldn't tell you that we were doing magic sooner or later, and that had to be its own resource, so we had to have all the balance done first, or we'd had to have spent so much time trying to balance stamina, HP, and Aether now. Which was good because those things we didn't have time to do the rebalance before early access released, and I still hold fast that I do believe all games and developers like build good grounds first, a good stable base to build more stuff upon that instead. And if you start making things that are a bit broken and you try to build upon that, you're gonna see in the end that you're gonna fall apart.
Yes,
that's one of the approaches that we have tried to take very seriously at Iron Gate. Like, keep it simple, make it good enough, make sure that as many people as possible can play it, make sure it doesn't break too much. If that's all working, then you're free to go and do whatever you want, basically. But it has to be within certain
quality
parameters and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah, I had a train of thought, but I don't think I really nailed it. What I wanted to say, but yeah,
we'll come back to it.
No, that's good.
But also, like in for the Mistlands update, we wanted to from like February and onward, we knew that we needed to save everything we could. Anything that was being worked on besides Mistlands, we had to like push it into Mistlands instead, because we wanted the update to be really big and nice for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, to be
That's
honest,
why-
some of the stuff that, like for example, the fishing upgrades, they were kind of finished quite a while ago. But then we decided, like, yeah, let's have this in the Mistlands rather, so that the update will get bigger. So in a way, like some of the stuff was worked on earlier as well, definitely.
It's because it's nice to have, like I was saying to Grim the other day, like it's nice to have a bit of sideways content, like or rest of game content. So with the fishing, you have got that a little bit. You know, there's something players who aren't waiting to get into Mistland straight away. They're going to have a bit more to do now and show off in their bases with the fishing, and you know, more to try and become an expert fisher and stuff. Oh my god, we've really hit the hard one here, lads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm almost
this is
dead.
gonna be...
Magic.
Yikes.
If you got a magic tool, I would say now's the time to use it.
Max is almost dead. Save Max.
Save Max. I'm coming.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
you're dead. Right, hang on.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not dead.
Okay. This has gone wrong.
I'm
Not
out of
dead.
stamina, and I'm gonna die. Crap. Okay. How can I always forget? Don't use the last shot of stamina.
There we go. We'll get a portal up, boys. Don't worry. We'll get one up. In fact, I'll do that now. Grim, do you want us to change one of the portals there to something else?
All right. Literally just something else.
Yeah, call it.
Quite long to type.
Yeah, call it food bar.
Oh.
There we go. And obviously, grab whatever you can, even other stuff from any of the other chests. I won't mind. Now Jonathan's broken my code of looking into people's chests. I'll accept it. Oh god! Oh, you just got wrecked there, sir. Absolutely wrecked. Yeah, if you hit him in the bum, Max, that's it. He's really weak at the bum. Whoa!
Nice.
Hey, well done, sir. Well done. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. Look at that, eh?
I think you asked some question in the middle of that or something. I kind of was a bit focused.
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, I can think. Like I was gonna say something about like we I think we did. I'm not sure if this is something of a lesson from Valheim, but like in terms of doing content early, I think our first like big content updates we had really early. Like we released in February and had like a new biome and stuff in I think it was June. something.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so like that was something we actually like we started on that pretty early. Just so like it was kind of a conscious decision to like let's have a big content update that we can push out early, just to kind of set good, or I'm not sure if that's good expectations, but kind of just start it off with a bang, so to say.
Yeah, it can be important, sure. And yeah, you guys have had a steady slew of updates. I guess the only thing is does that get in the way sometimes? Like, have you got to rush stuff, or have you ever felt like that, or has it still been quite chill, like getting it sorted, or just regular?
I mean, there are some stuff we want to do in like the early stages that we kind of want to improve.
Yeah.
So I think going forward that will be a bit more of a focus.
Oh God.
Would you say like is the game kind of? Are you working on every stage of the progression, or is the beginning done, or?
I would say that we are working on every stage of progression. But like we have like so the update that we pushed most recently was yet another new biome. So we're released in February, and then we have like 2 big biomes with 2 big content updates on that. And going forward, probably focus a bit more on getting the early progression really rock solid and exactly how we wanted to.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like there are some massive similarities I feel like with Valheim, but I guess that's crafting survival in general.
Yeah, like what you said about catering to a bunch of different people definitely like applies to us as well, I would say.
Yeah, because CoreKeeper has got base building in it as well. It's like decorations, and you can make it, and even though it's the viewpoint of 2D down, it's actually pretty still nice. Like you can amazing pixel art. That's another thing that CoreKeeper's got in abundance, is just a bit like Minecraft. When people do these crazy pixel pictures in Minecraft, you can do that in CoreKeeper, because you can literally, because it's 2D, you can people just making Pokemon and all sorts of crazy designs. Is that fun to see?
Yeah, it's definitely fun to see like how many little parts of the community open up doing different things.
Yeah.
Like for example, the pixel art on the mini map. Then we have people who just are going crazy about just trading stuff and trying to building museums in the game, just accumulating every possible item that there is. There's people discussing the lore that I put into the game.
Yeah.
Because there is a coherent backstory to the whole game, which you could barely notice if you don't look for it. But if you actually look for the signs and like environmental storytelling and all that stuff, you can find a very interesting backstory as well. And then there's people that just look at the lore. And so there's something in it for everyone. Gardening, fishing. There's people that just want to stay home, do the cooking, and all that stuff. So yeah.
I found that, like, to maybe Grimm's horror, that I wasn't too clued up on the lore of Valheim, because when I was asked the other night, I was like, really? Is that the lore? Is that the story? I didn't know that. I guess maybe because I've just taken, like you said, sometimes you don't want it to be overloaded in Valheim. You want players to kind of have their own maybe idea of stuff, but there is a little bit of that running through.
Absolutely, I think one of the most important parts of Valheim is to let it be cut loose from everything, and that we're not imposing lore onto you like that. I'm running around here with a couple of seekers.
It's a 1-star even.
Yeah, like so CoreKeeper, you the intro as you like basically going into like an explorer and going into this cave and stuff, and it says some good premise, and you've got a good mix of creatures like the cavelings and stuff like that, and then just great monsters and mobs. Like in terms of the bosses, I really love the bosses in CoreKeeper. But yeah, it does. It's kind of that vibe like Terraria as well. I'm sure that started off a little bit Swedish, didn't it? Or like some of the developers are from Sweden or close by. Oh,
can you recall me, please?
I will try my best. You don't want to come here, man. We want to go to you. But I will do that. I will do that.
Oh, we got a Yell here now too. That's nice.
I was shooting on that before.
Oh yeah, just recall one person at a time.
Oh,
everybody's
sorry.
got a loading screen in the middle of the fight.
Sorry, well, maybe I've saved your lives. Oh no, I don't know.
We're not really invincible.
No, sorry. That was bad
I
tease.
survived somehow. I have no idea.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah. Oh no, I got a tick on me. Get off. Right, rolling. Okay, it worked that time. It worked that time. I'll take it all back. Take it all back.
Okay, I died.
Yeah, I'm gonna die now. Fuck.
Yeah.
But were you surprised by like the community, how much they were building stuff? Was that always the plan, kind of?
I
I know
think-
Richard had said like he never intended it to be such a building game. So I think it was a surprise, or I mean, you'd have to say more, Robin, because I wasn't there in the beginning. But
No, the thing is like the way that Richard kind of works is like he works a lot with like the cool of rule, the rule of cool,
Another one.
and he was just like, okay, I want to make a system where it actually makes sense to build stuff, where the stableness and the structure and what's it called? I always lose the word. What's it called? Well,
wait, could you spawn some arrows? Okay, I'm dead anyway.
Perm-
all right.
Permanence.
The portal looks dead here. If this is the portal you would use.
Right, okay, I'll really call everyone now, Grim. You're gonna have to suck it up.
All right. I'm
Yeah, there we
all
go.
right.
It's too long to type it all separate. It just is.
I was
I
gonna
was
say,
gonna-
like, the cool thing with Richard is like he just tries to make something that is cozy. Like, oh, this feels cozy if you could build this. This feels nice if you could do that. But it also have to have like repercussions and it has to make sense and it has to have a purpose as well. That's why we don't have floors as ceilings in this game, because we want to force the players to think about how you build, like make a roof and not like just box.
You recall
box
me? I
houses.
missed the other one.
Okay, I'm coming. Hang on.
But we didn't anticipate that everyone or a lot of people would do so much building, and especially when we started to see like the Millennium Falcon being built totally in wood, and like Japanese castles and everything is like, it's crazy. It's so unreal. Like someone sat and did this
Right.
with the tools that we gave them.
Yeah, I like your community highlights that you kind of put out in some of the updates. Like really insane stuff.
Yeah.
and we try to. I don't think we've done it so for so many. Like on every Steam update, we try to give some community shout out to someone who's built something really cool. That's something we try to endorse or try to keep up. Like just saying to people, good on you. That was a lovely building.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice as well, the interaction with fans. Like, I mean, a pair of them. I know it's been a while for Valheim. I know you guys have felt a little bit from some of the small minority sort of crowd. But overall, like, you still got an amazing, overwhelming positive review score. You know, you're beloved by every media outlet out there, so it seems. And from what I'm seeing, the reception to Mistland so far has just been astounding. Like, people are just blown away by the magic and the difficulty of the creatures and the prettiness of the biomes and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like it's just it's definitely, hopefully putting, I'll say it, like a finger up to anyone that was saying, oh, this update's not going to be that great, or when's update. Like, it shows how much work you've put into it. So yeah, I'm loving the update. I am now. Few changes I want, but you know, that's life. And then just
I have a few changes as well that I want to.
yeah,
But
go
I'm
on.
gonna have to get to the office.
Tell us, what changes do you want in the game?
Want some arrows, by the way?
You want arrows? I give you arrows, sir.
I would like to look over the Yal just a little bit. It has to be a little bit tuned. I'm not sure if it's going to be HP or if it's going to be damage, but there's something that has to be changed with it a little bit. I'm not seeing much, but another thing I want to look at is the knockback on the player weapons.
Player weapon. So what if you kill something, you knock them back too far?
I noticed that players who play with a mace knock enemies away too far away, so that they can't really handle it. Like you're just knocking them away too far, so you can't really follow up with the 2 and 3 combo.
Right, I got you.
Stuff like that, just to make it a little bit more clutch, basically.
Yes.
Also, just so you guys know, I also do balance of Valheim, so everything normally goes through me and Andreas Luma as well.
You're like a Renaissance man. Renaissance man.
Renaissance. You're British, shouldn't you know how to pronounce
I
English?
told you I can't speak English. Like you guys have got better English than me. Renaissance, reconnaissance,
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
You just put some French in there, and it sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Le baguette.
What's our goal? Where are we aiming to go? We're just
I don't know. We
running
was just
around.
running around. To be fair, I was just like, I knew this would happen. We'd obviously have stuff eat our faces, so I thought that would be interesting while we just yap. But we can try. Let's see if we can find a mine. Let's see if we can find a mine.
All right.
That would be fun.
Try to recall him in again. Like, just type his name after recall, so we don't all get recalled.
I will try. Hang on. Nah, you're lying. It's not coming up on the things.
It was.
Oh, there we go. No, I'll take it back. I'm so sorry, Jonathan, to doubt you.
You calling me a lie?
Oh, I'm not good. You're
Son
lying.
Yeah, weird thing to lie, man.
Valheim devs leave midway through an interview. Yeah, maybe I could. That's why I don't do potions, because the potions are never ready made. You got to bloody cook them or go and brew them. You only get the meat
It takes like
in
2
cheats.
minutes to
In
put that in-
cheats. I ain't
my
got
God,
time for all
Jade.
that. I ain't got time for all that.
You haven't even done that. Wait, so you didn't use potions on the playthrough?
We do, yeah, but like it's definitely always last on my list of like stuff to prep. Like I just forget about it. Only like obviously ice. We've got frost potions, but whenever I'm cheating, I do always forget. I ain't gonna lie. Is it potion? I'm gonna spawn some in now so everyone can get the benefit. What's
All right, do mead health.
one thing? Don't ever do. Try and spawn in 10,000 gold coins.
No, don't do that.
No, that will crash the game in a massive way. Maybe hence why CoreKeeper don't have console commands, because it could break the game massively.
Oh yeah, we have had people destroy their worlds because of consoles commands as
Yeah.
well. So it goes both ways. Like if you're really stuck somewhere, or something's not where you can't retrieve your body or whatever, it's great to have console commands and cheats. But you'll also get those people who are like just breaking their worlds, spawning stuff that they shouldn't be spawning, and they're like, oh, I can't get rid of this. Oh well, no, neither can we.
Has everyone got at least
Yeah, I mean, I agree
5?
with what you said earlier too. Like, I mean, it would have been really interesting to not have any cheats at all in Valheim, because yeah, we would have to add creative mode, but other than that, there's like no real reason to let Jade cheat in everything in the game all the time. So
No.
it would be quite kind of more like kind of keep the magic of the game longer, because there's no way to actually cheat. You have to actually play the game as it's intended. So
You guys are so good even with the PTBs that generally you don't have to worry about them destroying your world or characters. And you obviously warn everyone to make backups, but a lot of people have been burnt from playing PTB so much in the past that they won't touch them. They'll just wait until the next update. So, you know, maybe it's something to consider next time. But then I guess it is, as we said, bug fixing them and getting that feedback about stuff. I guess it is important. But then you're in early access. That's the joy of early access, right? You can hopefully make mistakes or...
You can blame everything. on
Yeah,
the-
just, oh, it's early access. Don't worry, guys. We'll get it right.
I mean, it's also just really a good way for us to see a big a reaction of the community without ruining it for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Hearth and Home, like there was kind of a lot of outrage about the food rebalance, so
Yes.
there was kind of a quick fix for that after that. So this is like outraging 5% of the community rather than 100% immediately. So
Yeah. And to be fair, the excitement, like I said, I don't think it really hurts too much because people just, people are super excited about the release date. They're going to be just jumping in for the first time, experiencing it for themselves. And that's something that Valheim's strength is. It doesn't matter how many times people would say this is a fantastic game, you should try it. Everyone I spoke to, like recently, I've got a big Arc Tuber to play. He's got like 140,000 subs, and he's a friend of mine, and he'd never played Valheim, and he's been addicted. He's been forgetting his own videos to come and stream with me because he's just loved the game so much. He's been getting into it more. Raz Clark, shout out to you, sir. So yeah, there's definitely that element too. It's a game that people have to experience rather than just.
has he been streaming it then also, or?
No, not yet. He's been doing videos, so he's cutting my streams into content and he's been putting it out for his channel. He's going to start putting it out. He's got to be a bit careful though, because he's literally just an ARC channel that doesn't want to upset his algorithm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
that sucks that you have to think about it in that way for YouTube somehow.
Yeah, that's it.
How do you guys? Oh, it's a
where are you?
2-star seeker.
Another one.
Just
Oh, what?
and let the Dverger go do their job.
Yeah.
Run into the camp.
Don't kill the dwarves.
Don't hit the dwergers. Don't hit the dwergers.
Don't destroy
Don't
the
hit the
cases
dwergers.
either. Sorry, I kept
That's-
going off high
Oh,
places.
he's getting... Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good
run,
job.
Chulo, run. We'll
See? Happens.
let's try and get up this one.
These burgers are great. Like, I thought someone spawned them before or something, but these are just here. Or-
Yeah, there are first neutral NPCs that if you smack them in the face, they will smack you twice as hard back.
Ah,
Those kind of burgers.
Hopefully you got enough stamina to get up here, Chulo. Is a bit of a,
No, but I had a question about so when you how often do you release stuff? A biome, for example.
You've had 2 since your release in February, so that's like every 3 months.
yeah, I think currently we're looking at 3-4 months, like with bigger-ish updates.
And how
And we're
how
tying
much-
that. Sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, then we're tying these bigger updates together with like just smaller quality of life stuff or community feedback updates and stuff like that.
There's another.
Yeah, we had one we called Cozy Caverns, which was just, purely decorative, kind of like Hearth and Home, purely decorative, add a bunch of stuff and help people make a cozy little home. And I think that went down really well, although it was kind of a minor thing for us.
Yeah, it's like balance changes and stuff. But yeah, that's it, because there's such a big player base that just want to mess around with their houses and farms, and that's a big aspect of CoreKeeper's got. You can farm your mobs and creatures, so not just like have a few boars, like literally you can create biomes that you've explored, but you can bring them sort of back to your own base, and creatures will spawn inside them, and so then you can get all the drops that they drop. So people are coming up with unique traps to kill them, and automation, which is nothing CoreKeeper's got. And it's crazy what people were building with like the logic system you got. Was that like how big important was that to put in the game to maybe differentiate or add more to it? Was the logic or automation system?
Like I think it was just something like there was no one that said no.
Got to have it, but yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, it felt very natural to have it. But it's definitely something we kind of have added kind of the basics for.
Yeah.
Looking for, more ways to actually use it, so to say. So you can
Would you say like okay, so when you add new content, like have you planned everything out, or like do you listen to the community and feel like, okay, a lot of people are building stuff, let's make more build pieces, or?
We kind of both. So we do have things planned out that we know we want to do in that month or like 3 months from now. But at the same time, we always try to tie that in with, okay, what can we do also that serves the community, or like feedback we heard so far, or people that, or things that have been voiced a lot by people around that time when we were working on the update, and then we try to fit that in somehow. Or at least communicate, okay, yeah, we heard you, and it's coming. So yeah, it's always kind of a mix of both.
I think it's interesting to hear, and like especially now you're in the middle of it. But like I know, like for example, one game. Not sure. Yeah,
Go
anyway.
on, you badmouth them. I'll edit it out. Go on, Jonathan.
No, anyway, I know, like, okay, so one game that when you kind of listen, if you listen to a lot of your community, you definitely, they will definitely be happy. That part of the community, but like it depends also a little bit on your like original vision of the game. So for example, there's a lot of builders in Valheim that want to have tons and tons of new build pieces and maybe like rotation and XYZ, and like there's lots of improvements that could be made to the building system, but then Valheim would turn into like more of a purely building game, and that's not really the goal either. I mean, even though it's amazing to see all the builds and stuff, like it's also kind of to keep the balance between.
You got to have that line.
Say?
What you guys, your vision, and what you guys think you want the game to be, and still taking on board player feedback, which you guys have done. But yeah, it's still okay to have your vision of what you want the game to be.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like it's hard to balance that, because I mean, me as well. Like, I see people asking for things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I could appreciate that as well, but it really depends on the player type, and all of a sudden by making some people happy, you also maybe alienate other players from the game. Like, so for example, what is the game? Okay, I'm not even sure. There's like an MMO shooter it's like been out for a bunch of years. I don't want to. I have never tried it, so I don't want to badmouth them. But I watched some YouTube video about it, and like it seems like to keep the community running and happy and everything, they've had to like keep adding more and more like systems and complexity and everything. So it's basically impossible to start playing that game as a new player because you have this like really complex system and multiple layers of lots of different progression stuff. And yeah, it's just like since it's more of a live service than the players who have been playing for years and years, they're happy, but that also makes it impossible to kind of join the game from the start.
Yeah.
When you have to sit down, I know exactly which game you're talking about.
I don't. Yeah, but yeah, go on.
And I think that if you have to take out your calculator outside your computer and take notes and write stuff down, I think then you have taken, if you've listened to the community that much, I think you might have taken the game in a wrong direction.
I mean, I'm sure like there's a bunch of people who are like, hears that and goes like, that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
But probably not most people. And I think like the building system you have is pretty, you know, if even if you just add more stuff, it's easy to just overwhelm people, and then it just feels like it feels very easy to just do to get into the building system in Valheim currently.
Well, that's something you said the other night, Robin, that originally Richard didn't really want Valheim as a survival game, and it's got very light survival mechanics, but it's true, like, you know, it was meant to be an adventure game, really.
Yeah, because that was his idea, was to make. Well, okay, so it started out being a peer-to-peer. He wanted to make a multiplayer peer-to-peer connecting to servers kind of thing first, and then one thing led to another, and then it was like an adventure game. That's what he wanted to make, I think. But then things started to evolve, and you start adding purpose to things and try to make something interesting out of like food and so on. Then it kind of like falls into this genre of games. It's a survival, and there's a subgenre which is survival light.
Yes.
And then you just stuff it in there, and then you can say to people, like, I don't like survival light.
It's become my fate. Like, after years of covering nothing but survival games, I any game that means less monitoring stats, food, water, temperature at all times, I'm all down for. Now, obviously, Valheim does have that in a way with the potions and getting prepared, but yeah, you don't die if you don't eat, which I really love. Like I like survival like games a lot now, like Tribes of Midgard and CoreKeeper as well. It's you don't have to. We do need to eat. Actually, you do, because if you don't eat, you do die eventually, right?
No.
No, is it not? It just brings it really low.
We had it initially. You get like a debuff when you don't eat, and then you get a buff.
That's it, and you're moving slow. So was there any chance of like CoreKeeper being slightly different, or was there any?
I mean, initially you just took damage, but that wasn't any fun at all.
No.
Run around and just took damage. Like, no, this is not fun.
Oh.
So we added a debuff. At first was a kind of a heavy, speed debuff, but then right now it's a pretty moderate one, but like enough that to kind of poke people to eat.
Okay, I've been trying to,
like, if you do food systems where you don't have if you're not super punished for not eating, I think that's when you start getting into, and you add building to that, that's when you start getting into like coziness, because you don't have to eat to do stuff and just appreciate the game. You don't have to feel the constant stress of like, I need food, do I have food, I need to make food, I need to prep food. And if you can like, just take that out of the equation, that's so much better.
especially in Valheim, where you do need to prep really to live and succeed in exploring a new biome. Like as I've discovered the last 2 weeks trying to speedrun it almost with minimal gear, it's just not. You need to be ready. You do.
I think.
Where is everyone?
I'm just getting killed by seekers. I think we are. As much as I wanted to find an infestation, we'll probably jump over to CoreKeeper now, lads. But yeah, there you go. That is the Mistlands. Hopefully it hasn't ruined it too much for you guys, seeing it like this, but give you a little taste and explore a little bit more. And yeah, let's jump into CoreKeeper. What games are you guys playing at the moment? Like, apart from your own, what's your jam? What do you like kicking back with, or is there anything new that you've picked up?
I have recently played Signalis.
I just started yesterday actually.
Oh yeah, I was surprised. It's pretty good. I liked it a lot. But I played through that, so I have nothing really to play at the moment. Maybe a bit of this Made in Abyss game that came out. And some JRPGs I have in my backlog that I want to play. I'm playing Tales of Arise at the moment, which is also kind of nice.
I didn't know they released a Made in Abyss game. That's interesting. I watched.
Yeah, it's not a good game. It's only a good game if you're a diehard fan and you add some mods to it that bypass some of the very bad game design decisions they made in that game. But if you do that, I'm enjoying the game a lot. I really love that world. In total, I've been watching the anime, reading the manga, and for me, that game is everything it needed to be.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I watched anime. I really liked the anime as well. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of influences of Made in Abyss regarding like graphical choices and stuff that I added to CoreKeeper, and there's even Easter eggs that I added from Made in Abyss.
Oh, nice.
Right. And is this a Japanese manga or anime then?
Yeah, it is. It started as a manga, and then it became more successful when it was adapted for anime. And it's basically a dungeon crawler,
Right.
with like kids going down some kind of abyss that's absolutely terrifying, but also beautiful at the same time. And there's some downsides to it, and then no one knows what's at the bottom. So the whole premise of it is super interesting. I think the world building is insane.
My favorite game this year so far has been Keeper. Has been really fun for me because it's really just chill. It's been something that I can just relax to, even though it can be stressful. But it's just like the pixel art, and I don't know. It's just the feel of the game. I like it a lot. I've been playing Dark Souls 3 a lot with my son. He wanted to start playing that, so he started beating bosses, and I was like, whoa. Wait, when did you grow up?
Whoa.
So that's been fun to see that he's actually beating Dark Souls 3 bosses. So it's been interesting for me to just sit down and watch him play. Like, go over there. There's an item behind there. I'm a huge Dark Souls. I haven't played Dark Souls 1, by the way. I've played a little bit Dark Souls 2, but I'm a huge Dark Souls 3 fan.
Isn't that sacrilege not to have played the first two? That's like watching the Star Wars, missing out on the original, but watching Return to Jedi, no?
Yeah, Dark Souls players tend to say that to me, but I
you don't give
know.
a shit.
I started out like playing the third one when it came out, so I was like, okay, this looks good. I've been playing that ever since. I haven't tried Elden Ring yet.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna. But I don't know.
You're gonna wait till Elden Ring 2 comes out.
Will it?
I like Sekiro a lot because of the combat system they have in that. It's one of my all-time favorite games.
I'm so bad at Sekiro. I tried it, like Henke was talking about it the other day, like the other, I don't know, a while ago. And he was like, yeah, this was like my best gaming experience. And I was like, okay, I really need to try it. And I just suck at it. I'm so bad. When I came to like the second boss or whatever it is, and like I just keep dying like 50
the boss
times.
fights in that is so fun because my favorite. Like someday I'm gonna make a game where it's only like you said, Jonathan. It's just gonna be bosses, no normal enemies. The only thing you fight is bosses, because that's the most fun part for me is like the battle, the endurance, trying to stay alive during the whole fight, and in Sekiro. They have like they can die twice. I think the title is even Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
I've never been able to get into them kinds of games because I do suck a lot at like timed combat. It's one of the reasons I also suck at Valheim a little bit, even just blocking with a shield.
I mean, I should love that type of game. I mean, for example, Hollow Knight is like one of my all-time favorite games, and I mean, it's kind of 2D version of that. And but like, yeah, okay, I die a lot of the bosses, but I don't consider myself the worst gamer in the world either. So I'm kind of surprised that I'm so bad at it, though. I mean, Sekiro.
But yeah, Hollow Knight is amazing. By the way, I love
Hollow
that
Knight
game
is great.
so much.
Yeah, that's. Oh.
It's the first time I've seen one of them mushroom dudes because I've not started a new world since CoreKeeper came out. I've just been playing the old one.
Oh wow.
Mushroom dude.
Yeah, yeah. Just for context, I started this as well today. I've really looked forward to playing this, but controversially, I kind of avoid early access.
What?
Um,
That's fine. That's fine.
But
Yeah.
I was also looking forward to playing this with a friend of mine. But now that we're gonna have this, I was like, yeah, I want to play it a bit. So I played it with my daughter a little bit, like an hour before this, and we had so much fun. It was just so nice to play together with her. She's 5, so I was playing, and she was like narrating the whole experience. Because she's like, "Oh, Daddy, maybe it's time to place another torch." So
That is heartwarming.
yeah, it was really nice. Like, we're definitely gonna keep playing. So that was. She was like, maybe we can. She's like, yeah, maybe you can build some more on the floor, and yeah, can we play more tomorrow? So yeah, she was having a blast.
Got a new fan. You know, one of the reasons I started a second channel was because I do love a lot of games like these. I like to chill, and Terraria, Minecraft. You know, you might think, well, they're a bit young, aren't they? Like, why is an old dude playing games like these? But it does. It just brings you back to your youth, seeing games that have got a bit of an old school vibe to them and stuff. And it's something just chill about this. And I love Terraria. Terraria grew to be one of my favourite games going. And so this is like distilled Terraria, Minecraft, and a bit of Valheim all in one for me. Like that's what it feels like when I'm playing it. So yeah, I put it on my second channel, and when my second channel was sort of begun, and it did all right. It did all right. So I'm very much looking forward to more content. You've got like quite a bit of you haven't got as much baggage with CoreKeeper. Like, you know, a little bit if people add stuff like Vikings. Oh, why are you adding magic to it? This isn't how Vikings lived. Blah blah. Even though it's a ridiculous game, but CoreKeeper, you don't have that. It's not as, you can kind of do what you want with it, right?
Yeah, there's a bit of it regarding the world that you find in this ancient civilization, which you kind of uncover. So I'm always a bit sweaty when someone suddenly started, oh yeah, we're gonna add cars, and I'm like, oh god, how does that fit the lore? But in the end, it's definitely easier to add, just come up with some kind of ideas, like, oh yeah, the ancient civilization discovered that riding around in cars is kind of cool, and they build tracks. So yeah, it kind of.
How does it work? Like in your team, like you said, somebody like said, "Oh, we want to add cars." And you're like, "Oh shit, let's work around that." How do you make, like? Is there some? Who owns the design that way? Like, do you have any? Do people just add what they want?
No. We do have another programmer who's called David, and who's also doing many of the game design decisions. And adding cars was kind of a natural decision since we have this big open space with the desert. And you want to traverse that in a bit more fun way. So he was thinking, okay, maybe it should be carts.
Yeah.
Which the main reason was traversing the desert, and the second reason was, okay, that's gonna be another cool thing that people can dive in when they start building their own racetracks and racing their friends. It was just a cool side effect, but that really solidified the decision to just add these kind of carts, and could even build out further in the future midway. I don't know, boost tiles on the ground that accelerate you.
Proper
and
Super
like
Mario. Are we going to have like bananas in the game that you can throw and make people slip around?
Yeah, potentially.
And kind of another example of catering to different people. There will be people that kind of just would love being able to treat it almost like a racing game.
Yeah, for sure. It gives more longevity. Like
Yeah.
any way you
Yeah.
can give players tools to do something a little bit more, maybe more than you thought, and they can create their own mini games out of. That's always a win. Like, you know, that's important. I think for nowadays, I feel people expect a lot more life from every game now. Doesn't matter even if you try saying it's not going to be a live service game. People kind of expect updates to hit, and or more updates even after release. And so any way you can add tools that they'll be able to have just more fun without needing constant updates, I think it's a winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a bit of the thought behind it.
And you're running with a system there as well, because you had the first update they had was like a water update, and it added like all these beautiful sea shores, and you could make boats, and you crafted in like better boats, like all sorts of crazy boats, speed boats and stuff. And so it's like a theme now: boats, cars, and I guess, well, I would say maybe airplanes, but maybe you're not going to go that far with it.
We don't know. Perhaps. It could definitely be a thing, like just I don't know, being able to glide around and across water holes and stuff.
Oh, and I died. I can't believe I'm the first person to die.
Okay, I guess
I
we
died
should.
before you, and I think someone else died as well.
I died as well.
Oh, good. I don't feel like such a noob. There we go. As long as Grim died before me, that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm allowed to die at this game.
Nah, well, yeah, maybe, yeah. If I've got 100 hours in it, I should be a bit more experienced.
I guess maybe we should just try making some actual gear.
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
we're just running
geez,
around
now
digging.
There's a gravestone here, and I don't have my stuff in my lower inventory. Is there a way to get that back, or
Yes.
would you take my gravestone?
No,
Jade?
that was my gravestone. Was it? Was it your gravestone? Maybe it was.
Huh.
When it's glowing, then you know it's your gravestone. So
Was
Wait,
it glowing, Jay?
I don't know.
Like if
Where's my gravestone? Let's find my gravestone. We'll find out.
maybe someone
you,
else
if you
trashed
hit,
yours.
you only need to hit your own gravestone once as well. Like, others, you actually need to try a bit more.
How do I open it if I find a gravestone?
I mean, if it's your gravestone, you just press E or.
Oh, wait,
or
I
just-
have a
just hit
gravestone.
it if you hit it once.
I think I have a gravestone, but I can drop out some things here. I found a couple of bows, some first gear. There's a bag here that increases your inventory.
Okay, so there, I purposely went and died at a spot.
How
just
little
wanna
you
see how it
think
works.
of me, Grim. How little that I would take your stuff. How little. I know how it works.
So yeah, if you don't want to take them on directly, there's 2 bows here that I dropped. If one wants to take them.
Try one. Okay.
This isn't my gravestone. Whoever's gravestone this is, that's not mine.
Oh, this one is glowing.
There
what
we
should
go.
be mine.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
That's the other thing as well. People look at these games and they might think, some older people, grumpy people that have no taste, would say, oh, it's too easy, it's too kiddie. But man, it's tough. Like, again, like in CoreKeeper, you've got to prepare for the bosses. You've got to make sure you've got the right gear and you've got to suss out the strategy to defeat them. Has that been fun, like messing around with the boss mechanics or like designing the bosses in that way?
Yeah, and we always have more ideas for bosses that we just have no time to implement at the moment. But yeah, we're always thinking of cool bosses and mechanics that could add more value to the game, especially having more bosses like the big worm that's just digging through the world, which is always like every player who sees it the first time has like a super nice reaction to it.
Yeah.
And I think we can definitely need more of these kind of bosses as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen that one. Maybe we should try to dig out it and have a
Oh
look.
yeah, can we? Yeah, that's
The
I must say, just playing this for 1 hour on a controller is a completely different game playing it with mouse and keyboard.
Better or worse?
yeah,
Or
for
just
better or
different?
worse.
I mean, what? It's kind of it's like both the feel is quite different. I guess it's also now multiplayer, so we are like speeding through it, but also it's a bit slower to like. I mean, it's obviously I'm a PC player, so I'm more used to using mouse and keyboard, but it seems a bit easier to kill them with mouse and keyboard than with controller.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I've been handicapped all this time. I love my controllers. I hate using keyboard and mouse. That's one thing I'm so grateful both of you guys like really added controller support. Like Valheim's mostly got it right, and you guys have got it right. That's something big. I know it feels like, well, PC players, they all play PC, but it's just nice to make things accessible, and it's surely got help in the long run in case you do get ports done for other platforms and stuff like that.
But and I mean, even just playing stuff on a Steam Deck,
Yeah.
it's also nice to have the controller support. I was surprised how well I could play Valheim on the Steam Deck. We were having a first play session on Valheim on PC, and then after that, I hopped straight back into the game on the server that we open up, but on the Steam Deck, just to keep building my house there. And I was surprised that it actually worked well, and I was able to do all the things that I wanted to do with that. So it was also quite easy to just learn by yourself, by just testing things out. So there were not like some weird triple button presses that you need to do to just perform some actions. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I mean, yeah, we have tried it, but as a developer, it's always hard to know, like, okay, how is it actually to play it for somebody who hasn't played it on the Steam Deck, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did, I guess, took a little bit of time to optimize it as well. Like, it seemed okay, but you did do a bit of work to it, right, Jonathan?
I mean, it basically worked. I mean, we had worked on it. We had the dev kit before, so I mean, we had done some changes to it, but it was mostly like visual stuff. Like we had to increase the text sizes in some places, and I mean, I had worked on the controller support better before that as well. So I think it worked pretty well out of the box. We just like made some default graphic settings and yeah.
The idea, like consoles and PC, like it is becoming more and more blurred with cloud gaming, that you can play games on your phone now, and I like it. It just means hopefully more games get a chance, because back in the day I remember how long it took for Terraria to arrive on console, and then like updates to hit the console version, or Minecraft. It seemed to take forever, but it doesn't seem as bad now. Like obviously still got early access and stuff, but we know obviously Valheim's coming to Xbox next year, and I'm hoping CoreKeeper one day will make an appearance on console, but it seems tailor-made really for it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oops.
Yeah. Can't say anything, but definitely
I know what that means.
it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Grim just
Switch actually, but I mean, it really seems like a Switch game. Or is it? I mean,
Yeah, it would be super comfy to play that on Switch, definitely. I mean, I am playing it on Steam Deck as well, and there it's basically playing like playing it on Switch, and there you can see, yeah, this is super just to take away onto the toilet or.
exactly. That's
exactly.
my game time lately, because I have been very busy with Grounded and Valheim, so I didn't really get a chance to stick with CoreKeeper as much as I wanted with the last update. So I've just been playing it on my own, just chilling, and it's so nice to be able to play a game and not worry too much about content for it. Like I've just been enjoying it.
Ooh, I can hold shift to just toggle the torch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
from Terraria.
Nice.
There were a bunch of these things where like all Terraria players came in and were like, we want these quality of lives feature.
Are you guys Terraria players or?
I mean, have played Terraria, but not really. But there are a bunch of Terraria players coming in and playing CoreKeeper.
Okay, yeah, it's just interesting because I mean I haven't played it. I've just tried it like very short, a bunch of years ago. But I think it's like in a lot of ways it's good to not be a core player of a previous, like I'm not gonna, but like a game that you're kind of inspired by, but otherwise because you end up just making it very
Too
similar
similar
to
on the button nose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, I don't even play survival games at all, really. And I think that's been kind of good in some places where you just have this outside perspective of, okay, how would someone who has no experience really with survival games go about and do a survival game, or like at least bring in some fresh ideas. So yeah.
You're very similar, because I don't think the Valheim devs have played much survival either. But yeah, it's always surprising, like, because Grim, yeah, you like your Dark Souls, and Jonathan, I guess you do like just all sorts of pixel art, but maybe some games like that, but as well as other stuff, like you said, Sekiro, or tried it at least in other games. But yeah, no one's really a big survival fan. It's not like you've spent thousands of hours playing Ark or Rust or Conan.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
I wouldn't do that.
No.
thousands of hours.
Yet you've now helped make the best survival game in the last 5 years. Is that not a bit mad?
But maybe that's a good thing, though. I mean, maybe that's also why, like, it's not just following the same as the other survival games.
The trend, the things. What if you?
I mean, it's also like, I mean, we're also bringing inspiration from other genres that we like. Like, we are fans of other games. Then you add maybe more fun, more interesting bosses, or you add more creative aspects of it, or like environmental aspects.
It's like you guys were saying about CoreKeeper with you know, the anime references and Easter eggs and stuff. You know, people might have to really know their stuff to realise that's in there. What if you could make a future game? Like, what would be the dream sort of deal? If you could get on a project, or if it's not a project, what would you love to bring to CoreKeeper or Valheim in the future?
Definitely a whole bunch of more biomes. I think some idea which has been requested by some community members, which I also really like, is actually going down into these chasms that you can find in the world. Like, just
more dungeons.
Climb down. Yeah, just climb down there and find some kind of kind of strange dark world with, I don't know, pale creatures that are blind, or so. Just some really dark.
That sounds cool.
But I guess, yeah, I mean, we're basically already adding everything we want to add It's just a matter of time and priority. But yeah, definitely, I see the game being much bigger, with a whole lot more build variety and monsters and bosses and so forth.
Are you like? Do you have a planned progression? Like, then you're going to be done, or are you going to work on it for like many years, like Terraria? It's kind of a deal, or
Maybe not.
yeah.
So
I mean, anything that you have said now in public and stuff, so just ignore everything that you don't want to say, of course. So.
I can just say that it would be with the onset, or like the scope that the game currently has and the potential that the game has, it would be kind of stupid to stop at the 1.0 release.
Yeah.
But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it's kind of like we're in it for the long haul for CoreKeeper, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's also nice to see because then I mean Terraria. I mean, I haven't played it, but I mean, as I know, it's kind of cool to see games being worked on for so long. They are not a live service, but at the same time, they're just a game that evolves and like built over so many years, and they just keep releasing this like free content for it. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be free, but just like keep building on that game and making it bigger and bigger and into a better game somehow.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not being an online MMO or like live service, more of a game.
I think that's contributed.
It's really impressive from that point of view.
Yeah, like so that's what's like players kind of expect that with so many games now. And I don't mind so much. I feel like, you know, if Valheim gets to 1.0 and you guys go, yep, we're done, we're moving on to the next one. I'd love Valheim for what it has been. I won't be someone that will be bitterly upset it's not getting updates anymore. Because it does feel like there's clear progression in Valheim and there's things you can do, but yeah, it does feel like there will be an end to it. You know, you've got the world sets, the map set. We know we're getting different biomes, but we know kind of placeholders of what they may potentially be. So it'd have to be something pretty crazy to mix up Valheim in a different way, I guess. Whether it's the next biome or if you were to do like another world, like you were saying about exploring another dungeon in CoreKeeper or an ethereal place underground or even more. But yeah, what would you like to work on, Jonathan, if you could? Like any project at all? What would you like to do in the future? You worked at AAA studios, you worked at indie now, so what would you like if you could take an IP?
That's very difficult to say, actually. But just like as a comment on the previous part as well, like I mean, I think it's hard to say also on Valheim like what is the right way to go, because like the original thought is to just have an end and then work on another game, and that is, I mean, that is also really nice as a developer. It's really fun to make a game, but it's also fun to make a new game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, it makes a lot of sense to keep working on Valheim, because when it becomes so big, I mean, yeah, it could be worked on forever. But I mean, the plan is not that it's gonna be a game forever. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see where it goes and everything. But it would be nice to get it to 1.0 and then see what happens after that. But yeah, it's a bit hard. I don't think it's clear cut in any direction for any game really, though.
No.
These types of games, that is.
And Robin, you're working on your own project already in your spare time.
Yep.
How's that
going? I haven't been able to work on my personal project. My personal projects are always going to be just that, I guess. If I was able to do something in Valheim, I would love to do something like an underworld kind of place, sub area.
Really, as well.
For biome, yeah, for biomes. Like it's for me, it makes sense as I'm not the builder. I'm the adventure guy. So I'd love to make something like you go underneath. There's a sub-world beneath Valheim,
right?
Just like King Kong world kind of place, but that's for every single biome. So you could go down there, and it's like twice as difficult. But once you get up there, everything's going to be easy peasy on the top side in that biome, or something like that. Something that would I've talked like elite locations or
yes,
do something to extend the life of the game. New Game Plus is something I would love to see in Valheim. New Game Plus.
That's interesting, because when I think about that, when you're both mentioning Underworlds, like Don't Starve is probably one of the better examples. Like Terraria's got its, you know, things, and obviously Minecraft with the Nether. But Don't Starve has got a really great vibe with that. You should check out some videos, or if you don't play Don't Starve, you basically find these holes and you can go inside them, and they're filled with like OP enemies, but they'll just basically lead somewhere. It's like a shortcut across the map. But it's really good. It's like it's really dark down there. It's super scary. You shouldn't really be going down there unprepared. So yeah, check out Don't Starve. And the mouth holes, I swear, are like just giant teeth in a mouth, and so it literally looks like it's going to eat you, like a Venus flytrap. But that's another cool game. See, that's what drew me a little bit. I wouldn't say it's completely like, but CoreKeeper a little bit. Just that sort of perspective of running across a map like this in 2D. And Don't Starve is hugely popular still.
Yeah, I'd really like to, same as Robin actually, but like I'd really like to make the game, like make it work in the long run as well, like multiple game modes, like difficulty levels, and
Yeah.
And also, to be honest, like I'd really like us to have official mod support to be able to so that the game could live by itself also for a long time. Like even if the official content is just a certain, like we have a certain vanilla experience, it's also really nice to see what people make. There's going to be a lot of like not great content as well in the modding community, but there's going to be some amazing stuff, and there's going to be curated lists and stuff. And like if we can have that integrated into Steam somehow eventually, then I think that would be a really nice way to have worked on a game that you can go back several years later, like just to see like, oh, somebody made this amazing rework of this game now.
For sure.
It just develops itself.
Yeah. What about you guys with CoreKeeper? Is that a consideration?
By the way, could somebody give me a little bit of food, and maybe
maybe
I don't have any
rescue
food.
you? Okay, listen.
Give me a second. I
Head-
think I have a bread.
No, thank you.
But yeah, what about CoreKeeper? Is that on the cards, maybe modding one day, or are you still too early? Right, moving on.
It's definitely something that we want in the game. Since, for example, if you stop eventually supporting CoreKeeper or like the game in its state, then modding is the way to go, because then the game is still living.
Yes.
But it's just the community that's doing all the additional stuff, and that keeps it alive. So yeah, mods definitely are always.
We're definitely positive to all the modding efforts, and want to kind of improve that in the future.
Success changes things, right? So you said you was hopefully gonna make back the money you put into CoreKeeper, and maybe keep enough to keep the game developing. But obviously, like you said, you hit 500,000 sales or so within a short time, and then 1 million. Does it change anything? You didn't sound like you scaled up massively with staff. You've kept to your schedule maybe, but is there anything that's really changed?
The quality of life, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you stop counting down the months until you, until you're out of money.
Yeah,
that's one thing, and also you get a lot more interest from people. Like previously, you were trying to be heard. Now you're being a bit more selective, maybe. But also, like, I would say that it definitely enables us to put more effort into CoreKeeper, and we are kind of expanding a bit this year, or have been expanding.
They have got some inventory improvements though that I think other games, hint hint, nudge nudge, might want to take advantage of. I'm just saying, like auto sort. A little bit.
Auto sort in you mean in a box?
Yeah. And they've got you've done some good changes with that. On controller, there's some shortcuts as well to do stuff and move stuff around, which I appreciate. I do appreciate. What about you, Grim? And I know we spoke about this before, but now it's been even longer. How has success changed Valheim and the process of making games?
Like I've always been just the employee.
Yeah.
So I was never really worried. I know just before early access released, I was hoping for 20,000 sales, which Richard and Henrik were hoping for 80,000 sales. Like that would be good. We got like 500,000 in a few days. Yeah, it was so weird, but it's also nice to just know that the future is secured.
Yeah.
That we can just keep on doing what we want to be doing, and one of the big things that we try to do is release quality stuff. We try, and without having to think about too much about money and stuff like that, we can just continue in the same pace, which I appreciate a lot. Things have changed a lot in the company, like going from 3 people, a small office, to I don't know how many are we now? Are we 12 and a half.
12 and a half is the half a small person, is it?
It's actually the like several people are like 0.7, so in
Right.
the end it's
Got skills as well, boys. I don't know if you've seen, but if you go up to the star above your armor and stuff, you might be able to upgrade and choose different attributes or start building up a bit. Yeah, there's a lot of progression in this, so getting good, just like Valheim, mixing it up. But I've got to say, I like this as well. It's a bit more choice in what you want to do, even if a lot of them seem quite similar or don't really feel like they're gonna make much of a difference. But when you start getting to the bottom skills, you're like, oh yeah, I want that one. I'm gonna do what I need to do in cooking or whatever to get that skill, because I'm always
what do you need to do to unlock like the second level of skills? You need to unlock it 5 times?
Yeah, 5 times and then go through. And you can unlock all of them. At first I didn't realise you could. I thought you had to make choices, like, because it feels that way with the arrows. It does feel like you're making choices, but no, you can unlock all of them.
Need to be careful here.
Have you guys gotten any awards or anything, or been nominated for anything or stuff like that, or have you got like recognition somehow from the rest of the world, or?
It has started this year, or like even just recently in the past 2 months. So there were definitely nominations for lots of like indie awards and so, which we all lost to Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
But there's also been in Linköping, there's been something awarded. I guess Max can tell about that.
Yeah, like it's kind of a local award. I'm not sure how much it counts. Like
every award counts. It's the one that you cut out of paper.
They have. So they have. It's kind of a part of. Not sure where this is. Is this shown correct for you as well? Never mind. But like, it's kind of part of the game industry effort here. So they have this game conference each year, and they kind of give out this most outstanding studio award that we won this year.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you. So we're kind of the second winner.
So you have a conference. What is it? What is it called?
I think it's called Linköping Game Conference, or it's LiU Game Conference. I'm not sure. Like it's a bit tied to the university in a way.
Oh, okay.
So when is that? I would love to come visit.
Yeah,
you just missed it. It's in November. But I can definitely put you in like this. It's kind of easy if you wanna, get in contact with the what you want to call it, the game industry in Linköping. There's like one person to talk to.
All right.
It's like the spider in the web, and can definitely just ping him about it if you want to go, or if you want to talk. If you want to have if you want to do a presentation next year, I'm sure he'll love that.
Yeah, let's go there and talk about Valheim.
I need some more practice.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like the perfect place to go to have a smallish talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's super relaxed, and like it is usually kind of often, larger players, so to say, than you would expect. Like somehow the guy manages to get people from, it's been Blizzard and Epic and stuff that you usually don't get to this kind of small events, but it's still like a very small event. And it started as we have a course in the university, which is just make your own game, and at the end of that course you kind of take the game and enter into like a small game competition, and that was what this conference was initially just. So it's kind of, you have this award ceremony where you can nominate the best game, gets a prize, and then there's kind of been this conference built around that.
The first
that sounds nice. I mean, in a lot of ways, the smaller things are nice because then you can actually have time to talk to people and yeah, just
Yeah, and the games
totally
are
agree,
getting better
totally
and better.
agree.
Do a bit of networking before you guys, a bit of practice on the smaller stage, and then I should see you guys at a TED Talk, right? Like, or the
Yeah.
well, you know, I was going to say the Unreal Engine chats, but of course, no, you're Unity. Do Unity have a conference and stuff like that?
I mean, they actually asked us kind of, or maybe I shouldn't. Never mind.
Oh, no, all right, that's another one
But
I'm
they-
omitting.
No, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not like it's a secret. But they kind of wanted us to have a talk somewhere, but we were thinking about it, but it was also like, okay, we're not really sure what we're going to talk about anyway. So
Is that daunting to people? Like you're confident in your jobs and your roles and stuff, but is it still hard getting used to the interest that people have in you now?
I kind of have. I don't know if it's from the community. I'm always like, yeah, you supported us. Obviously, I'm going to come look at your stuff and talk to you guys because I think that's the least I can do. When it comes to bigger places or bigger outlets and stuff like that, I always like, what's the catch here? What's going on?
Just that skepticism.
Yeah, a little bit like that because like before early access, people looked at Valheim and said, "Good luck with that." All right, okay, and I was really insecure about that because it was like, well, wait, this game looks good, right? And they were like, it's not my kind of game. And then you get the same people like after it blew up, going like, oh, I knew you guys were gonna make it. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
It looks a bit weird first time, but you see it. I gotta say, like it's like what's this style? But then when you play it, like as soon as you start playing it, I feel like it just clicks.
Oh, absolutely. And I felt, you know, when I was going for the job, the position, I thought I was going to come in to help them fix the art style. That's what I thought, genuinely, because I just got like screenshots sent to me, close up on troll scrotum and like zoomed in neck, and I was like,
You're
oh,
just
okay.
going like I'm gonna replace all the placeholders, right?
So, but then when I started playing the game, it was like a different thing because I don't believe like Valheim doesn't do it justice on screenshots. It has to be played or on video to try to understand.
True that. Thumbnails kind of suck in Valheim. Like for me, I much prefer if I can. I wish I could add the money to afford thumbnail artist that I did have because he was making pretty good art based off of the idea of Valheim. Like you can get some nice shots of the environment. I love the environment of Valheim, but sometimes it's not the greatest being able to get like a clear picture of something for a thumbnail. But then maybe I just need to brush up a little bit. To some extent, a little bit CoreKeeper as well, because you're looking at quite a small central character with a lot going around. That's why I love it when Fireshine gave us like PNGs of the bosses and you know stuff like that. It made our lives a bit easier as creators to try and make some thumbnails that are a bit more poppy out. Because yeah, the games, like I remember actually got an email about CoreKeeper, and I have to say, I said I didn't want the key. I was too busy covering other games, and I think I looked at the shots and I was like, I like the look of this, but no, I've got way too much going on. And then I did see the trailer came out for it, and I was like, actually, you know what? This would be perfect for my second channel. It's like a mashup of like Terraria, Minecraft. I don't know. I don't want to keep comparing, but like it looks great. It looks like exactly my kind of jam, actually. And then as soon as I started playing, I was addicted. I was like, oh my god. Valheim's similar. Like I saw Richard's Twitter posts, and I saw like a Viking running on a log, and then I saw the sea and the ship at sea, and I just saw the waves, and I just thought that is fucking amazing. Like that has got such a vibe to it. Seeing video of it, but yeah, for sure it's important sometimes showing your game in different ways.
Like, is it too much? Like, I'm not sure if you wanna kind of just enjoy the game on its own, but like if I spawn some go-karts.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
go
sure.
for it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they were actually in the very beginning of the game when I started it an hour ago. Or
Oh yeah, there's the ancient card. I think that's lying around fairly early on.
oh yeah, it was some like
I'm trying to get back to you guys because I died and took a wrong turn. Let me see.
It's a long way to run if you're gonna die now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's only the shit one left.
But yeah, the man
no.
although
I need one, Max. Give me that car.
Grim will call you Stinky Cheeto in a second, though. He will.
Give me a second. Pick it up.
That's only for you, Jim.
Oh, it's
Oh, I
only
have
for me.
to.
All right, okay. Nah, it took me a hot minute to learn how to drive these things. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it got tank controls. It has tank controls, but it's a bit difficult at the beginning, but then you get a hang of it very quickly.
No love for the tuber, no. No one give me a car. I'll just walk alongside you. I'll just run along after you. It's okay.
Oh wait, then someone should have a spare car somewhere. I think. Max, did you pick that one up that I?
No, I think so. You can take that one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, I haven't even tried the suits up versions.
Yeah, they're fast.
I mean, I gotta say, one nice thing about working on the simpler the graphics, the easier. I mean, the faster at least the iteration and like making things. I mean, it also of course applies to us majorly compared to a lot of other 3D, especially like AAA games. Like, I mean, we can make things quite fast as well, but that's also kind of what I miss of making like 2D games, especially like pixel art games, where you can like kind of make a whole game in just like, yeah, you can make a lot of graphics in just one day compared to if you're working on AAA. It's like, okay, this character's gonna take like 1 month just visually to make. It's just so.
And you've got an interest in that. What draws you to pixel art games, Jonathan? What is it about the art form?
I mean, I think you can do a lot like creatively. Like you have a lot of other people. It's easier to get into, I guess. So you see a lot of other styles and worlds, I think. And I just somehow have a. I mean, I like the aesthetic you can make with it, and also like developing for it. I really like.
Just quick.
I mean, I made a bunch of like small Ludum Dare, like 48-hour game jam games, and then I mean, you make a whole game by yourself in 48 hours, and you really have to make an art style that is. You have to spend a lot of time coding and making other things as well. So it's just nice to be able to make it look kind of nice with the limited time that you have. So.
For sure. Oh, these are cool. Right, guys, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. It is the 2-hour slot is done, and I have got to go and live stream as well. I'm a busy man tonight, but thank you so much for taking time out, Max and Julian. I really appreciate it. As ever, Robin and Jonathan, I really appreciate it. Really do appreciate you taking time. I know it's not always easy chatting to someone you haven't got a clue who they are, especially someone who sounds like me, who just has a really strong London accent. But I appreciate it anyway, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice.